late. All right, guys. Hello, this is Pamela Ferguson, tax advisor at Pacheco, coming to you today for Tax Resolution Thursday. Give me just a minute because we're going to be streaming also from Facebook, and I need to make sure that I set that up properly here.
Uh-oh.
Live tax resolution Thursday. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I was so unprepared today because I am late too. Okay, so that's starting on Facebook. Welcome to the guys, to you all that are watching here on stream on YouTube, and those that are watching here on Facebook. We're going to talk about tax resolution. Let me try to put my camera so that I can look at in one direction. So tax resolution, a lot of you may not even know what tax resolution is. And the reason you don't know is because you never had a tax issue. So the only time the average person even gets introduced to tax resolution is because they have had a tax issue in the past. So what do I mean by tax issue? They've gotten a tax letter in the mail. They've received a letter from the IRS. Now let's go ahead and mention how the IRS has I think it's called Project 80,000 or something like that, where the IRS has hired a lot of people, and they're in the process of hiring a lot of people. They haven't even hired all the people that they plan to bring on board. So you will see an increase if you are in the tax profession. Please be prepared for your clientele to likely see increases in tax letters from the IRS to do some type of audit. That's going to be an increase. I'm even expecting to see, it's rare to see partnerships. If you file a Form 1065, it's rare to get those audited. I'm sure in the next 3 years that audit number or statistic is going to increase. At least that's what is being discussed across tax professionals today since this project has rolled out from the IRS. So let's talk about tax resolution and what it is. Since this is, I'm just starting out my weekly talking points, and I felt it was only fair to just tell you guys what it exactly is. And then later on, when we start talking about resolution, we can dive deeper into it. So you got to understand, resolution can fall on the business side or the individual side. It can be personal taxes that you're having issues with, and it can also be business taxes or even payroll taxes. And even I've had to deal with an audit for unemployment tax, but that still falls under payroll, but it's not with the IRS entity. So resolution can go deep, and it is not anything to play with. So on the business side, when you're looking at resolution for payroll, that's very serious because payroll involves what they call a trust fund. So when you're having people on payroll and you're taking taxes out of their check, or at least reporting that you are, and you're not sending that money over to the IRS, you're stealing from them in their eyes. So they will knock at your door and arrest you behind payroll taxes. It is not a game. So take that one very seriously. But if there are any outstanding debts or liabilities or issues with your current tax filing, that's when you're starting to get into the point to where you are having to look for, sometimes it can go looking as far as getting someone to represent you, or someone like myself who don't necessarily represent you. However, I can guide you. I can literally hold your hand. I could be on the phones with you. I can just literally help you through resolving your tax issue. But for many times, I'll likely need you on the line to help get through some things. But for the paperwork part of it and all that, we handle that. Each option for resolution, each resolution option, whether you're an individual or business, is going to be different depending on the business. Some resolution is so simple as to where you could just make a phone call to the practitioner or to the IRS agent. You can resolve it over a quick 5-minute phone call. But there are some issues where it's going to take a minimum of a year to get your resolution resolved. And some of the options are installment agreements. Now, on installment agreements, I do want to let you know that, of course, you can go directly to the IRS website, sign into your account, and sign up for an agreement with the IRS. But you need someone like myself who understands installment agreements, where we can help you figure your installment agreement, because we can find situations where we can probably get you paying less than just agreeing to that total amount. So there's a lot that goes into it. But some of the resolution options are installment agreements, offers in compromise, which is what you'll see. What is that company called? Optimum Tax Relief. You're going to see them offer in compromise off the top. They're going to market that to you. Most people will not qualify for offering compromise, but that's what grabs your attention. So that's what they market, and they offer pennies on a dollar, but you have to go through a process to see if you even qualify for that. And then even if you qualify for it, you have to send it over to the IRS and they have to approve it. So there's not even a likelihood that you'll be approved for it. But working with someone like myself, you can at least know the rules and the laws behind it so that you can make a good offer in hopes of it getting approved. Then you got your penalty abatements. That can be for anything. I remember sitting in a class for truckers and back office support, and the lady that was teaching the class mentioned that for the forms that the truckers file, she mentioned that you can't abate those, and I was like, yes, you can. So sometimes even myself, we all don't know everything, but the information's out there. One thing I do pride myself on is I will go out and do research. And if it's something I don't know, I have a team behind me that I can go to and ask questions and see if, they can give their insight on it. So I'm not by myself. But there's penalty abatement. There's non-collectible status, guys. If you're without a job, if you're having hardship, it's likely that you qualify for non-collectible status. All right. This means that the IRS won't collect from you for a period of time. Now it does, well, that's getting too deep in it. There's some more that goes with that, but you can have relief if you're dealing with some type of hardship. And then you have filing bankruptcy. Filing bankruptcy is another option that fits in for resolution. So let's move on to the communicating with the IRS. You're getting those letters, you're getting the green card, which is certified letters. You got to go pick up and sign for it, show proof that you got it. Respond back to the IRS. If you don't respond back to them, it gets worse. All right. So it's very important to communicate with the IRS. And the good thing about having someone to represent you, if you get IRS representation, they don't have to call you no more. They call the person that's representing you. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to be stressed out over that. But make sure you're wanting to communicate with the IRS or even your state authorities if you have state tax issues. So IRS is federal, state is whatever state you're in. Thankfully, in Texas, we don't deal with that. But timely response to any notice or any request for information is very important when it comes to dealing with the IRS. Next, we're going to talk about documentation. It is super important to have accurate financial records and anything that can support any claims that you have made on that tax return or any communication in regards to resolving issues with the IRS or the state. During a resolution process, that's where a lot of documentation is submitted, and you want to make sure that stuff is correct the first time. Leave no stone unturned when dealing with documenting and communication with the IRS. And seeking professional help. That's going to be you want to make sure you don't want to really, unless it's something minor, and you're good at research and paperwork. It's okay to do things on your own. I've witnessed someone deal with the IRS who had huge issues. They were paying people under the table, and all of it came back on her, and she dealt with it by herself. So it's doable, but she was stressed out too. So get someone to help you to deal with the IRS. You can get tax professionals, CPAs, you can get tax attorneys, you can get enrolled agents, and they have dealt with this day in and day out, and they can walk you through these types of situations. If it's too much for me, I even refer the work out to someone else. I'm still in the picture, but I do also get help, people added to my team to help me in cases where I can't complete the process. You have to make sure after it's all said and done in tax resolution, you want to make sure that you are also staying in compliance from that point to future, because with resolution, what we're going to do, if you're someone who, I'm sorry, it feels like my throat feels funny. If you're someone who is missing filed returns, you have 5 to 7 to 10, 15 years truckers, you have all those years of unfiled tax returns. You need someone who understands when it's time to file those returns and when it's time to not file those returns. If a revenue officer is reaching out to you, if you're just simply getting that first, second, or second letter, but either way, I know with truckers from experience, you guys won't even get a letter, but because it's something you want to do, you think, oh, let me go and file all these tax returns. That's probably not always the best thing to do. Although I do preach that every year you should be filing a tax return, even if you don't have to. But when it comes to going back to file, it's case by case scenario, and we don't always tell you that you need to file all those years. It's dependent on what's going on. But once you get into compliance, you definitely want to make sure that going forward, you remain in compliance, because if you do not, then you undo all the work that someone has done for you in regards to resolution. We got, even in resolution, we have negotiation options or strategies that we can use. So, that comes into the play with the offering compromise and even the installment agreement. We can show your willingness to cooperate. We can show financial hardship. We can show a doable financial repayment plan. We could do all those things, but it's strategic because there's key things that you need to know when putting that together, opposed to just going and doing a streamlined agreement and then bam, you owe the IRS all this money, and later on you find out, although you did owe it, there are ways you can get that payment lowered just by your lifestyle, your financial situation. And then you have programs out there that are available to you for relief, for incentives, depending on the specific situation. Again, Optimum, they always do the Fresh Start Initiative, and that's by the IRS. But it also comes back to your financial picture. What's going on with you? So I can't look at the next person and say, well, they got a relief, I should get a relief. It doesn't work like that. So with tax resolution, a lot of you guys may have not heard of it. If you know about it, it's because you got a letter. A lot of tax offices don't deal with tax resolution, but they are starting to catch on because it's kind of, some of you guys, I'm talking to the tax offices now, some of you all are doing tax resolution and don't even know it, and should be charging an extra fee for it because, believe it or not, taxpayers, when we do tax resolution, that's additional work for us. That's additional hours on our plate to try to help you out of a situation. So, for our office, we have a program where we will take in your signed form and allow us to pull your transcript. We review your transcript throughout the year, and we can see things on your account before you even be notified. We can see red flags on your account. We can see missed credits in cases on your account. So if you want to enroll into something like that, please reach out to us. You can visit our website at www.pajako.com. That's PAJAKO.com. We can actually monitor your account, and you can have peace of mind knowing that there's someone there that can see what's going on with your account before it even reaches you, and we can get ahead of that. I thank you guys for watching today. If you like what you saw today, if you're watching from a replay, please note below in the comments that you are watching the replay. Also, like, share, and subscribe. Maybe you didn't need this knowledge, and someone else you know may need it. Someone right now could be, I know tax resolution is a tough area because there are people who are, I did a research on the statistics, and it showed that doctors and dentists are the top two professions who commit suicide. And tax resolution is one of those areas where people really take it that far. They take it to the point of suicide because they don't know what to do, and they're so afraid of the IRS. You do not have to be afraid of the IRS. What you do want to do is communicate with the IRS. No matter what's been done in the past, make sure you communicate. And when you communicate, you may run across some difficult revenue officers or agents working with them. But at the end, when you have someone on your team who understands the process, it makes it a lot easier, and it takes a lot of stress off your plate. All right. Thank you for joining in today. We appreciate your time. We did keep it under 20 minutes. And I will see you tomorrow for Free from Tax in Retirement Friday. That's going to be a fun one. We're going to dig into IULs on tomorrow. You guys have a great Thursday. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.